Live long, die fast. Hi, welcome back. I'm a person who is born with plenty of benefits, advantages, privileges, whatever you want to call it. I'm just fortunate enough to have this life, and I do my best to make the most of it. If it wasn't for the people, the resources, or the environment that I had, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And every now and then I probably do tend to be overdramatic about certain situations or certain problems that come to my life. But I am grateful for everything that has been given to me and the things that are a part of my life to help me become a better person. Because there are people out there who aren't as fortunate as me, who don't have the things that I have. Now, every now and then I probably do tend to take things for granted. One of the biggest things that I take for granted often is probably my health. I'm not the most physically active person, and I also don't watch what I eat as much as I should. I just do the bare minimum to make sure that I can get up every day and do whatever it is that I want to do. Even though my lifestyle might not be the greatest lifestyle choice in terms of my physical health, I do try my best to make sure that I am keeping myself as healthy as I can, but at the same time, I'm also very lazy. It's just something that's a part of me that I always have to make sure it doesn't take control of me, because as much as I love just sitting at home on my computer doing whatever bullshit that I think is entertaining, it's not the healthiest thing to do, which is why I recognize I should probably put a little bit more effort into making sure that I am a healthier individual, and so that way I don't come across certain problems later on down the line. Meanwhile, there are people who aren't able to have a choice or have a say in the matter when it comes to their health. Not everybody can be as fortunate as I am to have money to go to a gym, or to be as fortunate as I am to go to a grocery store and purchase the healthier options that are available, much less have the money necessary to go to a hospital and be able to get a checkup to see whether or not there is something wrong with them. These types of people exist anywhere around the world, and those people are trying their best to survive every day. And of course, their health is important. But when you don't have the resources, the environment, or the people that I have, it makes sense for them to not always be worrying about whether or not they're doing exercise or eating as healthy as they should. And that's just how the world is. There are plenty of examples of people who just were very unfortunate and who weren't lucky enough to have the life that I have, or to have the life that other people have. But I do tend to think about how sometimes if I feel like I'm getting fucked over in my life, whether it be I'm having an argument with my parents, whether I have a bad day at work, whether it be something annoying goes on in my life, I tend to feel like the world is just coming down on me. Obviously, I'm just being over dramatic and I'm letting my emotions get the better of me, which is why I remind myself that it could be a lot worse. And trust me, there are a lot worse things that could be going on in my life. Some people are given a life without a family, meaning that they were born without knowing a mother, or without having a father with them, or having lost all of them in a tragic situation where it leaves them to just being an orphan. And now they have to go about life figuring out whether or not somebody is going to take them in, or whether or not somebody is going to help them out later on, because they're too young to support themselves. They are incapable of earning a living. They don't know what it means to be responsible. They don't know how to handle a world that is just now all of a sudden taking everything away from them and expecting them to defend for themselves. There are people who are born without being able to hear or without being able to see, and yet they go about life pretty much like I do. And I couldn't even be able to comprehend what it's like to live that kind of life, to go about that life not being able to see what's in front of me or to hear the voices of the people around me. But there are people like that. And here I am just complaining about the annoying things that I might hear from my parents, or the things that I see on the internet, or people doing while I'm working. There are people who go on with their life without having any clean clothes, without having any running water, without even having a home to go to begin with. They spend their life on the street, hoping to wake up and think that today might be better than yesterday, and tomorrow won't be as miserable as it is now. There are people who deal with violence on a day-to-day. Abusive families or toxic relationships might lead them to having a very poor outlook on life, to believe that there aren't any good people in this world, to think that everybody is just against them, to think that people are always going to treat them this way, and to think that there is no good in anybody, because anybody who I've ever been with or anybody who I was expected to care for me is just a scumbag or a piece of shit that throws me around like I'm nothing more than a piece of garbage. And I don't blame them. I can't expect them to see the world that I see it if they spent their whole life being surrounded by violence, being surrounded by all the horrible things that people shouldn't have to experience or shouldn't have to see. But who am I to say that they should just forget about all that because it's only through their eyes, and they should try to look things a little bit more optimistically? Who am I to promise somebody hope if hope is never there for them, if hope was never given to them when they needed it most? When I was a kid, all I ever wanted to do was play video games and be on the internet looking up stupid videos that I found to be funny. Meanwhile, there are plenty of kids out there who probably won't ever get to experience that technology because the life they have is just not giving them any opportunity for it. Whenever I am just being dumb and lazy and not really taking care of myself too well, I have to remind myself, if I don't value my body or if I don't value my physical or mental health, then I'm just gonna end up feeling shitty. And there are people out there who wish they could have the luxury of not caring about their physical health. There are people out there who are born with cancer, who are born with certain illnesses that may not be curable. And they have to go about life knowing that this might not work out. This might not turn out the way that they want it. And they have to keep up this suffering and feeling this miserable so that way they might be able to live for another year or two. There are people who are born with immune deficiencies, which means they are incapable of going outside as much as the average person because they might end up getting infected, which could basically lead their body to collapse and no longer function properly. They go about life just like anybody else, and yet they have to deal with this kind of crap. And meanwhile, I'm enjoying myself being lazy and not wanting to go out for a small walk because I'm too busy enjoying myself on my laptop. What these people would give to just have a simple, normal life like mine or like anybody else's would be immeasurable. I am aware of the benefits, the advantages, and the privileges that I was born with. I am aware that I should be grateful for everything that has been given to my life and for the people who have been in my life to help me become the person that I am, which is why I need to try my best not to take things for granted, to not abuse these things because there are people out there who would give anything for it. And I just think it's sad if there are people out there who are constantly abusing these things, who are constantly being ignorant to the benefits that they were born with, who are constantly just looking down on people who don't have the same life they have and think that they know better than them or think that they should judge them because they don't have the same lifestyle they have, or just assuming the worst in people because they weren't in an environment that would help them become a better person or just a normal person in general. In the end, I want to make the most of my life and I want to make sure that I live my life to the fullest. And I'm happy that I'm able to just continue being who I am and doing what I love. If you're a person who's going through a lot, if you're a person who's suffering a lot, if you're a person who doesn't have the things that any other normal person would have, I hope it gets better. I hope things get better and I hope things work out because you are an amazing person. You know what it means to sacrifice things in order to make it to tomorrow. The experience that you gained from the struggles that came at you have made you a much stronger person. All the pain, all the suffering, and all the obstacles that you had to go through in order to achieve something, in order to accomplish the things that you wanted. Those are things that not many people can understand. And whether you like it or not, you are pretty influential. People look up to you. People are astounded by you. It's because people are not able to imagine these things that you had to go through in order to survive, in order to become a better person, that they are not only impressed by it, but they are influenced by it. They look at you as someone who is brave, as someone who's courageous, as someone who's determined, as somebody who's a cut above the rest. You've proved to them that no matter what, when you hit rock bottom, all that's left for you to do is go up. You definitely have been through a lot, and surely there could be worse things coming your way. And it's not fair, and it's definitely awful that these things are happening to you. And I only wish that things could get better for you. But if you were able to make it through all the things that were already painful, that were already terrible things to begin with, I'm sure you won't have a problem with the things coming afterwards. I may not be able to understand what you're going through, but I'm sure you must be scared. And I'm sure you must be tired, which is why I commend you for being able to accomplish all that. I myself know for a fact that I wouldn't even be close to achieving those things. If I lacked any of the things that I mentioned previously for being privileged with, I know that I wouldn't be able to do any of that, but you were able to accomplish all those things without that to begin with, which is why I know that it doesn't matter what comes at you next, because I know you'll be able to surpass it. And I hope that you can find determination, that you can find motivation to keep fighting and to keep pushing yourself forward, because compared to me, you are stronger. That's all I really wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Thanks again for watching, and keep being awesome.